What's up? Coach E here from Precision Movement, and today with another live session, we are going to go through 8 exercises to undo desk work and undo the negative effects of sitting. So we're going to address pretty much every joint from head to toe: neck, thoracic spine. If you see little spinies hanging out over there, you're going to use him for a demo. Shoulders, scapula, the two major joints of the shoulder complex, elbows and wrists and fingers and hands, hips, knees, ankles, and feet. So we're going to hit it all. If you're here on Tuesday, then I'd love to know what you thought of that routine. And if you weren't here, get ready to feel better, especially if your morning, or if you're in Europe, if your day before this was spent, at least a large portion of it was spent sitting at a computer. So we are going to jump into it right now, and we're going through 8 exercises, and these are in the description down below here on YouTube. But I'm going to be flashing this every once in a while just so you know what we're doing, what exercise we're doing, and when. That's it. So what are we getting starting with? We're starting with 360 breathing. So 360 breathing is what I teach that's kind of a little bit different than the traditional diaphragmatic breathing. So the diaphragmatic breathing pattern, the one main problem of it is that when you're belly breathing, you're trying to expand the belly. If you need core stability and you need your abs to be firing like you're doing a plank, diaphragmatic breathing is not going to work because you're expanding the belly and you're relaxing those abdominal muscles. So the alternative is 360 breathing, which is essentially you pretend that there's balloons inside each lung is a balloon, so one on each side. And when you inhale, the balloon expands in all directions. So forwards, backwards, sides, down, and up. The other point to keep in mind is to relax the neck muscles when you do it. Okay, so we're going to do 360 breaths just standing here relaxed together. And then we're going to do 3 with the arms up. Okay, so get in just a comfortable alignment. You don't have to be rigid, just comfortable alignment, good posture. Breathe everything out. Everything out. And then slow pace. So when you're inhaling, you're expanding in all directions. Doing it in a relaxed way. Fully exhale. Okay, now we're going to go arms up. So 90-90. Same thing. Fully out. Empty your lungs. And really try to push out and open up. Got some tummy gurgles there, that's a good sign. Oh, that last one was good. I can really feel the release there. Okay, so 360 breathing, you might notice my voice is down an octave, and I feel more relaxed personally. Desk working, especially if you're in a stressful job or you just have stressful things happen, can tense us up. So the thing you want to do before you get into any exercise or stretches is decrease that psychological stress. So any exercises, stretches, things that you do can take effect. Because if you're in a stressed psychological state, it's not, any exercise you do is not going to be as effective as if you're nice and relaxed and your body's ready to receive it. Okay, so 360 breathing. We're going to apply that now to the next technique, which is the wall neck side bend. So you need a wall for this. You need a wall for the wall version. But if you don't have a wall, don't fret. Just stand and pretend that your head is on a wall. Okay, step back, head's on the wall. You don't have to be pressing into the wall. And we're going to inhale and exhale. Pure side bend, ear to shoulder. Inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down the other side. We're doing 3 per side. Inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down. One more on each side. Keep the head touching the wall. Inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down. And relax. Okay, just gonna move this light back a little bit and then talk about this. The wall neck side bend. The reason why I like it on the wall is to restore this pure side bending movement. Oftentimes when I tell people or teach people, okay, we're gonna do a side bend of the neck, it'll kind of look like this. There'll be some turning, some rotation, some tilting. Not what I'm after. We want a pure neck side bend because that's going to really help to open up the vertebrae on the side, the opposite side to which you bent down to. So I'm bending down to this side, I'm opening up the vertebrae here. Bending down to this side, opening up the vertebrae here, creating space in the cervical spine. When you rotate, that tends to limit the amount, or that does limit biomechanically the amount of opening that you can get in the vertebrae as opposed to a pure side bend. Again, great technique for decreasing tension because it's active. It's not just wrenching on my neck, which is going to have a physiological reflexive response of tightening those muscles that you just stretched back up. So it's active. We're building that active range of control, mobility, aka mobility. And matching the breathing, again, is going to help to decrease the psychological stress of a stressful workday to help to further improve the effects of the exercises that we're going through. Next up, number 3. Now, I didn't do this one on Tuesdays here. Y'all are lucky here. Active hands behind the head. We're going to do 2 versions. And there's a good lesson here, too, in terms of alignment. If you've been here, this is our 5th week. Can you believe that? 5th week of doing these already. If you've been here with me, I've been going over the ABCs of precision movement. These are 3 fundamental principles that apply to every technique that I teach. Alignment, breathing, and control. Now, alignment should not be thought of as an ideal and a perfection. If you get the alignment right, you're doing it right, or if you don't get it right, you're doing it wrong. It's not black and white. Alignment is an intention, and it's something to strive for and to always continue to work towards. You might not ever get it perfectly, but you're constantly, actively trying to achieve whatever the ideal alignment is for that specific technique. So, active hands behind the head. We're going to do the first version. And this is a part of my shoulder control course. Awesome course. Helped a lot of people with bum shoulders, tight shoulders. What we're going to do, stand, neutral alignment. Bring your hands up behind your head, first of all, like this. Now notice if you hyperextended at the lumbar spine. You see I'm sticking my butt out here, pretending that somebody's taking a picture of me for Instagram, okay? Also notice, do it again, if the head juts forward for you to get your hands there, okay? We want to fight that. So maintain the neutral. So I bring your arms up slowly, and then get them behind your head. Fight the lumbar hyperextension and fight the forward head by pulling your chin in. So abs on, chin tucked, that's where we are, okay? So active hands behind the head, what I'm gonna do is drive my elbows back and lift my hands off my head and hold. Breathe. And we'll bring it right down in between and relax, okay? So we're going to go 1 slow breath as we do the hold. Arms are up, maintain neutral spinal alignment. And then lift, hands off the head, drive the elbows back. Breathe, keep activating back. Try to get your hands as far off your head as you can. Trying to drive the elbows back even though they're not moving. And down. And we're going to do one more. And I'm going to show you another version of this. So you might already be feeling more open, taller, more confident. Hands behind the head. Lift the hands off the head, drive the elbows back. Maintain neutral alignment, stay tall. Breathe. See the position of my hands there, and then down. Okay, so obviously this technique is counteracting this. We're here, working at a desk is here. Effects are, the positive benefits are pretty obvious, I think, with that one. So this one's a little bit tougher. Now we're going to do this with fists, pushing the fists together. So same thing. You're going to feel this one. Now, the lesson here, before we get to it, is with the alignment. If your head is forward and if you're a little hyperextended because you don't have good spinal mobility, you're really stiff and your spine is stiff, it's okay. You could still do this technique. The goal is to work towards chin tucked, neutral lumbar spine, pelvis not anteriorly tilted and butt sticking out, okay? So if you don't look perfect when you're doing this, it's okay. You're just still activating to work towards ideal alignment. All right, so for this one, I'll show you a little more in back view here. There you go. Hands up behind the head. Fists together. Now driving the elbows back and pushing the fists together. Breathing. Keep activating. Keep trying to crush my fists together. And then relax. Okay, now we're getting another activation pattern here, which is not just lift off, but it's together, building further strength and control in this range, which is going to allow you to keep it. Arms are up, hands behind the head. Maintain neutral alignment as best as possible, fists together, and press and lift. Breathe. It's hard to talk when I'm doing these. And relax. Okay, shake it out a little bit, and one more. Press. Drive the elbows back. Keep neutral alignment, stay tall, and relax. Okay? So I bet it's clear to you that we've fired up some additional musculature there. This is a fun one. Playing the piano. Okay, what do we got here? 2 cycles per hand, 2-second activation per finger. So this technique is going to work these muscles. Oftentimes, especially if you get into problems with mousing and too much typing, you get carpal tunnel syndrome, which is a overuse injury, repetitive strain injury of the flexors. Okay, so the flexor muscles are working too much. Well, what does that do? That does one thing, which is these muscles, because they're working all the time, they get stronger without concurrent strength built in the extensors, so a muscular imbalance can occur. These muscles can tighten up because they're stronger relative to the antagonists, the muscles that counter flexion of the wrist and flexion of the fingers. So you can shorten and you start to lose this wrist extension, which is super important. This wrist is better. This wrist isn't as good because I've sprained it a few times. Super important for any kind of ground-based movements, push-ups, crawling around on the ground, just getting up and pushing up off the ground. If your wrists if you get pain when you do those types of movements, then this technique will be really helpful for you, okay? And it's fun. Last time I was singing, I don't know if I'm gonna sing to you guys this time. And I found it was more effective if I was up here with you. Okay, so this is my left wrist, full wrist extension. Arms up in front of me. What I'm gonna do is play the piano. Press on my knuckle on the thumb for 2 seconds. Don't overwhelm it, just press it to activate these muscles here. Press against the index finger, 2 seconds. The key point is to maintain the full wrist extension the whole time. 2 seconds on the middle, 2 seconds on the ring, and that little piggy gets 2 seconds. Other side. Full wrist extension, 2 seconds on the knuckle of the thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky. Okay? This position is, I call the extended flare position, because the wrist is extended and the fingers are flared. So you want to continue to activate and do more and more extension of the wrist, even though it's not moving. You're firing up these extensors up here and keep activating the flare. So spreading the fingers out, flaring the fingers. Okay? So keep that in mind as we do the second cycle on each. Press, 2, maintain extension and flare. You should feel burning. 2. Okay. Here we go. Full wrist extension, flare. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. 1, 2. Okay? That's playing the piano. And this routine, it's not a conditioning routine. It is an undo desk work, undo the negative effects of sitting routine. So the reps and the sets, we're doing 1 set of everything pretty much in a few reps. It's more based on, it's more for activation as opposed to strengthening or endurance. If you want, you can take any of these exercises and build endurance, build strength with them, simply by adding reps, adding sets, and progressing over time. So you're increasing reps and or sets, so total volume goes up over time. You're doing the technique at least twice a week. That's how you're gonna build endurance and strength. But right now, what we're going through is time efficient, and it's gonna activate so that you don't get stuck in this position. What kind of position are, old people who are hunchbacked, what do they look like? Basically like they're sitting in a chair. Okay, we don't want that. So activation, this is short and sweet. You can do it daily. That's what I recommend. Ideally after, but before is good too. At night before you go to bed is good too. If you just do it, it'll benefit you. Next up, T-spine, which is the thoracic spine, level 1 ERE, which stands for end range expansion. So this is a technique to improve range, improve control. It's also a dissociative technique, so it breaks a common associated movement pattern, because whenever we flex the spine, it tends to flex as a whole. Whenever we extend the spine, it tends to extend as a whole. Here, we're gonna break it up into components. So the thoracic spine is gonna be isolated from the other segments. Now, before we get into that, I just wanted to bring out Spiny because I missed him, and I figured he'd be good for demonstrating this to you. This is the thoracic spine here, cervical spine, approximately, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, okay? Cervical, 9 vertebrae, thoracic 12, lumbar is 5. This is the natural curve of the spine. A little bit of extension in the lumbar, a little bit of flexion in the thoracic, and then it goes back again to a little bit of extension in the cervical. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be in the 4-point position, and I'll show this again too afterwards, because I think it'll be good. We're gonna start off in the flex position, we're gonna start off in the extended position, and then you're gonna flex just the lumbar and posterior pelvic tilt, flex the lumbar, maintain extension through the thoracic, and then flex the cervical. So we're breaking the common pattern of when we're flexing the spine, all the segments are flexing. This time, just the thoracic spine is going to be extending while the other segments are flexing. Okay, so we're going to do the technique that I'm going to explain a little bit more. So T-spine ERE, level 1. 4-point position, Make sure you can see me well. Hands are right under the shoulders, knees are right under the hips. Alignment of the spine is neutral. Elbows stay straight and locked out the whole time. Scapula are protracted. So if my chest sinks towards the floor, that's retraction of the scapula. Pushing my chest away from the floor, that's protraction of the scapula. That's where you want to stay. So let's do a couple of cycles of cat-camel. So we got camel, hump, that's flexion of the spine. Cat, that's extension of the spine. Now notice here if your scapula retracted, because that's an associated pattern. We want to break that. So keep protracted, push away. Here, flexion of the spine, extension of the spine. Do one more cycle. Flexion, extension. Okay. Shake it out a little bit. Anybody with wrist problems, feel free to go on your fists or on push-up bars, keeping the wrist in neutral. That is helpful, typically, or commonly helpful for people with wrist issues on the ground. And play the piano. Okay. Now, let's do the end range expansion technique. Full extension of the spine. So look forward, stick the butt out. Again, Instagram love for all your followers. Okay, now we're going to flex slowly. Posterior tilt of the pelvis, flex the lumbar, maintain extension between the shoulder blades in that thoracic spine. That's my lumbar, and now it's chin to chest, flex the cervical, and keep extending through the thoracic spine. Okay, hold it. Keep flexing the lumbar, flexing the cervical, and then come out of it easy and under control. We'll do that again. I can explain something with the spine, and then we're going to do one more cycle. Okay. So extension. So really start to try to feel deep and close to the spine in this area, thoracic area. Okay, from there to there, there to there. Full extension, scaps are protracted, elbows are locked, and posterior tilt of the pelvis, flex the lumbar. Keep extending, feel those muscles, those deep muscles, the multifidi. And then flex cervical, keep extending the T-spine, opening up the chest. Lumbar and cervical are flexed. And come out of it easy. Okay, and let me show you something, then we'll do one more. These visuals, sometimes they help. Now this is a tough one. If you have trouble activating and feeling the muscles that are deep here working, totally normal. Just focus on the cues that I'm giving you. That's all you need, and time and practice. Daily is good for this technique, and it's going to prevent you from looking like that in the future. Okay. When we're extended here, all the muscles are firing of the spine, the deep muscles, the superficial muscles. But when we flex the lumbar spine, then we start to shut off these superficial muscles because they span from lumbar right up into the cervical spine. They go high, they go long. They're known as global muscles. Okay? But what happens is there's little muscles that span two vertebrae to 4 vertebrae. These are called the multifidi, and just in the shadow there. Okay, these muscles, if they're flexing here, sure, they're off, but they're local. So by maintaining extension here, we're keeping these muscles on. But not only that, we're increasing their activation because now they have to fight the flexion force of the spine here. So to stay extended, they need to fire up more, and here. You see how this pulling down is going to cause more flexion force, which is going to require more extension force to maintain it. So it's a little neuromuscular trick that I've come up with to get these muscles, which are super hard to strengthen and isolated and strengthened. So now that you know that, let's try it one more time. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, elbows locked. Protract the scapula, go into extension, and try to feel those little muscles deep to the spine, firing to extend every vertebrae, lumbar to cervical. And then keep all the muscles on as you flex the lumbar, posterior tilt of the pelvis, okay? And then flex the cervical, maintaining extension of the T-spine. Oh, multifidi, there you are. I feel you. Hold it, breathe. And relax out of it under control. Come out of it gradually, decrease that contraction gradually. Don't just shock your system and fall out of it. All right, so that's the T-spine level 1 ERE. I have a video on that technique alone. If you search the YouTube channel for Hunchback, you'll find it. You'll see spine again, and I go through a deeper explanation of what that's all about. Home stretch here, Psoas Activation. Okay, 3 reps per side, 5-second hold. We're gonna do it standing, because I don't feel like grabbing a chair. I've been in a chair all day. Don't want that anymore. So let's just do the technique, and then I'll explain a little bit about it. Standing nice and tall. Give you a slight angle here. Flex the hip, not all the way up. That's my full range of hip flexion. I want to be a little less than that, okay? Hand on the knee. Push the knee into the hand, push the hand into the knee, activating the psoas. So in this area here, fire it up. And then I'm kind of slumpy. Going to extension of the lumbar spine. Really a kind of exaggerated, extended posture. Hold it. Breathe, keep pushing. Knee to hand, hand to knee. If you need balance on the wall, totally cool. And then come out of it. Yep. If you find you're activating too much of the TFL, outer hip flexor here, and not so much in here, you're gonna go flexion with a little horizontal extension and a little bit of external rotation. That'll allow you to get that psoas on. Start slumpy, pushing hand to knee, knee to hand, fire it up there, and then go tall into extension of the spine while you're continuing to activate. Breathe. And down. Let's go to the other side. Slumpy, knee to hand to knee. Press, activate. Picture that psoas in there, some muscles firing. And then go into extension. And relax. Let's go over here. If you have any questions, just leave them. I'll get to them afterwards. Okay, start slumpy. Knee to hand to knee. And then get extended. Tall. Fire up the glute on the opposite side. Strong through that support leg. Breathe. And down. Okay? Why are we activating the psoas when we've been sitting all day? Psoas, it's a hip flexor, does this, but it also does this. So it contributes to lumbar extension. People who sit too much, typically, most people, not all, most people have problems with lumbar flexion. They get posterior disc pain, damage to the posterior disc, the intervertebral disc, which is a little cushion in between each vertebrae. That gets damaged when you're sitting too much and you're flexed. If the psoas is not working, you're gonna have a harder time getting out of this flexed position. You're gonna have lower stability in neutral spine as well. And the muscle itself, because it's slack and it's shortened, it's in a shortened range, it's gonna adapt to that. So it's gonna limit your hip extension. So if you're running, you're skating and you need that full stride, it's gonna limit that. Reverse lunge and reach. This is an amazing technique. Reach and twist. 4 per. So let me show you what it looks like first, and then you can join me. Okay, key points here are reach as you lunge back, knees hovering off the ground. Extend the spine smoothly. Stay tall as you rotate, don't twist or bend, but pure rotation, and then come up. Just a smooth movements, nice and slow, under control. Getting good alignment here so the knee's not caving. Leg is straight in line with the foot when we're doing the lunge. So go ahead, I'm not going to count for you. I'll just cue. Reaching up, extending the spine smoothly, not hinging at any specific joint. Hover the knee, rotate over using the abdominals, the obliques to rotate you, and then coming up. Stepping back, reach up, hovering over the ground, clean rotation, keep the leg where it is. And up. There's no specific breathing pattern here, except it helps to inhale on the reach. Just not holding your breath. I'll do one more on each side because it's so good for me. Okay, what's up there? Reverse lunge, obviously. Stretching out, mobilizing the anterior all the way up through the arms, through the chest when we do the reach. Okay, so quads, rec fem, hip flexors, abdominals, pecs, lats, get mobilized there. Hovering over the ground activates the glute here. Okay, what shuts off when we're sitting all day? Your glutes, because you're sitting on them. It's hard to activate. You're being crushed by your body weight, your upper body weight all day, okay? So glutes are active there. And then rotation, activating obliques, further activation of the hip muscles. So hip stabilizers, abductors, those are all getting increased activation when we're rotating around there. So it's going to get full glute and hip activation, good mobilization in a dynamic and active way through this whole anterior line. That's why we do it. Okay. Finally, last drill, the near far. This is one that I've learned from my friend Daniel Gallucci, the functional neurologist, the guy that I've created a brain health and longevity program with. I helped publish him. He's just the genius behind it, and I just helped to get his genius out in a way that's digestible for everybody to understand, and a program that is people can follow. So if you want more info, go to on him and his work. Go to www.neuroflux. That's neuroflux.io. This drill, it's a visual motor drill. Now, when we're looking at a screen, the screen is right here, okay, in front of us, maybe about arm's length away. We're just looking at it all day. That's only one distance away that we're looking for a long period of time. It could be like 6 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours at a time, okay? Our body always adapts. Every part of our body adapts to what we repeatedly do. So if we're doing that all day, we're adapting to this distance, and we're just saving energy by downregulating our ability to perceive things that are far away or even closer. So this drill is called the near far drill because it's going to allow us to ensure that we maintain the ability to focus on something that's far away and then change rapidly to something that's close to you. Okay? So how you do it? Stick your thumb in front of you. You look at your thumb and you focus on it. So it's in focus. Bring it towards you. Once it goes blurry, back it off just a little bit so it's still in focus. Other thumb is out far. You're just going to go focus, soft eyes, flick over, focus on the other thumb, flick back. And it has to be in focus before you flick between thumbs. Don't move your head, just move your eyes. Back and forth. So go ahead. Don't worry about counting so much. Just keep going. And ideally, you're going faster, but the number one rule is focus. Okay? Now we're going to switch sides. Other thumb. Bring it in. It's a little bit blurry. Now it's not. Other thumb is out straight and flick back and forth. Go ahead. Breathing, relaxed. Focus is first, speed is second. And relax. Okay, very simple drill you can do to maintain your ability to change your focus on an object that's far away to close and back and forth. So obviously for sports performance and athletes, this is a super important skill, because you're spotting a guy in front of you, then you got to focus on the puck, then you got to look to your teammate and pass it over to him, then you got to skate to where you're going. Maybe your mom's saying hi from the stands, you want to give her a little wave. Got to have that ability, okay? But desk work, working at a computer, is just that one distance away, and we adapt to that, and we lose the other abilities if we're not maintaining them and training them, okay? So that's the near-far drill. That's it. That was actually longer than I thought it would be, but hopefully it was more beneficial than you thought it would be, okay? So we pretty much hit the whole body with that routine, and this is really, really great to undo the negative effects of sitting. So if you have any specific issues, we went through a bunch of different exercises, probably some that you've never done before. And if you've identified issues, pain, limitations, movement dysfunctions in a specific area, then check out the courses that I have at precisionmovement.coach/store, or just go to the website and you'll see the store link. I've got a lot of different courses that hit every area of the body that can help you eliminate pain, heal and prevent injuries, and improve your mobility so you can do the active things that you love. Yeah, that's what I'm all about. It's not just doing this stuff for show, but doing this stuff so that you can get out and play sports, play with your kids, run around, just do tasks of everyday living. The other day I was grabbing something. I live in Toronto, so I don't have a ton of real estate, and my house is about that far from my neighbor's house in the back, or not in the back, the whole thing. And I had something dropped, or I think Cam, my son, threw something in between the houses. It was like his shoe or something. And I had to get around kind of the deck here, and I had to step like this, then I had to grab it like this to fit in through the two houses. This is something that you're never going to train for, but if you work on all of the ranges of motion that we have as humans, and you work to improve them, then it's movements like these that you can do, that you might not plan for, but your body is capable of. So you're not going to distort yourself in a way that's going to cause a tweak or an injury. So thanks again. Hope to see you guys next time. We are live next Tuesday at 8 p.m. and again next Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So thanks for coming, and I'll see you then. Peace.